All right, it is now time for Ask the Expert. Have you ever seen that one commercial where the birds are flying and then they hit the glass window? Well, it happens more than you think.
Joining us live this afternoon, Scott Deal, the wildlife manager at the Wisconsin Humane Society's Wildlife Rehabilitation Center. I remember this from being a kid. I'm in a friend's rec room. They have a big plate glass picture window, and I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, and I was terrified when I heard thunk, and a bird just falls to the ground dead because it broke its neck when it hit the window. How common is this?
It's tremendously common. It's studies have shown that it probably happens anywhere from 300 million to almost 1 billion times in North America every year. The death toll is staggering.
So for many people may be thinking, why is this issue so important to speak about?
Well, about 30% of bird species in North America are at risk, some even of extinction. Many are in decline. And from our perspective at the Wisconsin Humane Society, we see it also as an animal welfare issue. It's an issue of needless death and animal suffering in our community.
What's a bigger risk? Is it the residents with the big, clean, clear plate glass window, or is it the 40-some story buildings we see going up in downtown Milwaukee that are basically sheets of glass? Which is a bigger risk?
Each has their share. And it's really hard to say. There are some tall buildings, and based on their architecture, the way that they are built, and the type of glass they have, and the amount of how much those glass images are broken up by other architectural features, could be a relatively bird-safe building, and someone's home, little idyllic-looking cottage with windows that get light at a certain time of day when birds are on the move could be a real nightmare for birds.
So what can people do to help save these birds from collisions?
There's a number of things you can do. On our website, we have information about a variety of things you can do to windows that help break up the reflection of the landscape. And that's really, there are two reasons birds hit windows. They either can see in one window and out another, so essentially looking all the way through a building, and they think they can go through, or the landscape or the sky is reflected on the outside of the glass, and they have no perception that that's
of what
a problem.
is reality and
Right.
what is the glass.
So breaking up those reflections or closing off that tunnel effect is really highly effective at helping save birds.
Do we all have an excuse to not keep our windows so crystal clear?
That's one way.
Let your windows get dirty.
Of doing it. That's one way of doing it. But we'd also really encourage, because Milwaukee's a happening place these days. There's a lot of development going on, a lot of improvements to buildings, and we'd encourage businesses, if they're interested in making sure that their buildings are bird safe, we'd love to consult with them and offer some advice.
In the architectural phase, right?
Right. In that phase is the best place to address it.
Interesting to learn. Scott, thank you so much for coming in. Have a question for any of our experts? You can send an email to asktheexpert@tmj4.com. You can also leave a voicemail. The number is right there on your screen.